Hello, Cowboy fan. Can I interest you in a little bit of chaos? We have that opportunity, baby, and we're getting ready for mandatory minicamp. We're the biggest Let's just start the show.
Hey.
Meow. What's up, everybody, and welcome into today's DLLS Cowboys podcast, where Clarence Hill is in the chat. One of the first people in the chat. Just asking you to hit the like button, as Clarence is once again going to miss a show because he doesn't care. And he doesn't work hard. And he's not interested.
Slacker.
In doing the show. Or his flights got delayed and or canceled and he just landed. But that's not what I asked you when we were texting, Clarence. We asked if you could come on. So either call in or don't. We don't care. Nice to see everybody. We're getting ready for Cowboys mandatory minicamp that starts tomorrow. But before that, we've got some we got a new man that's become available at a Cowboys position of need. Who's ready for chaos? I'm on Team Chaos. Welcome to the show. My name is Jeff. And I'm seated next to former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
What's up?
What's up, bro?
Just hanging out.
It's Monday.
It is so Monday.
So Monday.
I saw a bumper sticker yesterday that said, after Monday and Tuesday, even the calendar says WTF. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
That's true.
So
That's true.
after Monday and Tuesday, you're in it.
Yeah.
And that's tough. Yes, Joe Hoyt is out. He is on assignment from someone in the government, some sort of handler, just trying to take care of business. Okay?
Keep you guys safe.
Yes. You are safer because Joe Hoyt exists, trained by his father. Jaire Alexander is being released by the Green Bay Packers. You ready?
Go for it. No, seriously. Why not? What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? At this point in time, we're 30 years into this thing.
Yeah, we are.
And if everyone is so dialed in and all in on Shadi and this culture change and the way that he got people doing the Greek dances,
Everybody's in a great place.
Everybody's in the. If you can take on George Pickens and all of a sudden now turn that into a positive.
Yep.
Jaire Alexander. Come on down. Come on down.
And I just want everybody to know that I'm here for chaos. Like, I want it. I really just want, try your very best to win. And in doing so, be willing to maybe have it be a total train wreck. Because I want fun. I love fun. I want Jaire Alexander and George Pickens every day in practice to be putting each other in a sharpshooter. That's Bret Hart's finishing move back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, I want it to get wild and spicy. If this thing doesn't go great, let's implode. Let's have fun. Let's go get Arch. Let's just burn the whole thing.
Competition, even with the competition will grow. Because they're going to compete in practice.
Yep.
Jaire, he may not, it may be George one day, CD the next day. Hell, it may be George one period, CD the next period. He might be the one that called Dak this year. Tell him
you don't have to say all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might tell Dak that in training camp, like he was told a couple years ago in training camp.
Yeah.
I think the more talented players you bring in here at this point in time, even if they have issues, so what?
Jesse, we all have issues.
So what? So what? Go for it.
Yeah, and I think in the case of Jaire Alexander, I mean, one of the issues is he rarely plays football. think he's played 7 games each of the last 2 years. I have a Packers insider. He's an owner of the Packers that I communicate with about things like this.
Not the KT.
Yeah, it was KT, Kevin Turner. he was just kind of like, I mean, you don't want that, but you might. Like, even watching the reaction of people who know the players the best is my favorite. Packer fans are like, good, he's gone. And I'm like, come on, bring him to me.
Can he still play?
Hell yeah, he can play.
Suit him up.
Yeah, he can play.
Put the star on his helmet. Suit him up. Like, you've taken in players who are less talented that probably still had some other issues.
I mean, shout out to Kelvin Joseph.
Not to shout out to Kelvin Joseph.
No, you don't
all.
know the vibe.
No, not at all.
Okay,
not at all.
All right,
but in the vein of that, give me the talented player.
Yeah.
Give me if Jaire. I'm done trying to speak rationale.
I like that.
I'm done. I'm done trying to have takes that kind of make sense. I'm done trying to put some sort of construct on what this thing and how this thing should be built. I'm done with it. Let's just go to war.
If I got some blue and white Team Chaos shirts made, would you wear them with me?
I sure will.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
I'm not Team Tank, but I am Team Chaos.
Well, we'll start if it goes poorly early. I'll let you know when we're transitioning.
I'm never going to Team Tank. But
all right.
I am because how many times do we have to sit here on any one of our platforms? And we have multiple ones.
I got a little tiny YouTube page.
How often do we try to sit here and create this rational, clear optic view of how this team should operate and be built? And it goes sometimes they hear you. They drafted a guy for you 1 year.
Yeah, Xavier Woods, 4-year starter. I'll have you know, 6th round.
But how often do we say these things and Clarence says up here every week, they didn't even call Derrick Henry. He's gonna say the same thing about Nick Chubb. They probably
didn't even call Nick Chubb.
They didn't call Nick Chubb. So I'm Team Chaos. Let's just throw caution to the wind and just bring in a bunch of talented dudes. No matter the history. Well, some history.
Kelvin Joseph?
That's the history. He's not talented enough for that.
Okay.
I said talented dudes.
So, I take him. Dro Knows is in the super chat. Pop has been awfully quiet since landing. Think TSA performing a cavity. Okay. It's possible. Look, what's important is keeping us safe. And if to keep us safe, Clarence has to get pulled aside, I support it.
Soapy's not dogging.
Because we need to be safe. So Jaire Alexander got released. And somebody said he wants a fat new bag. He can want in one hand. And I don't know if you know how that saying goes, but don't worry about it. So he's available. Jalen Ramsey is not going to Dolphins mandatory minicamp this week, as they're like, now it's understood. They are attempting to trade him. He wants to be traded. And if that doesn't work, I guess they're going to cut him. I don't know, but he's not going. And so you have both of those names available. In the year of our Lord 2025, there are like 7 corners at the house better than the dudes that the Cowboys are running out right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. And I get it. The Cowboys are in a weird spot where they're like, yeah, but Trayvon Diggs one day. Yeah, but we used a 3rd-round pick on a guy that he'll be ready fairly soon. Like, they're just hanging out and kind of hoping. And I'm a big fan of hope is not a strategy.
It's not.
Get somebody in here today. If Savone Revel, the day comes where you're like, that dude is 100% ready to go and he is better than this guy we brought in. Sweet, put him on the field then. Trayvon Diggs is ever ready and good to go, but what they're going to do and what they like to do is they say, yeah, he's cleared. He's good. Every dude who gets cleared from an ACL is good. About a year from that date is when he gets pretty good again, if at all. So, like, just go get one. And I'm going to give you a preference right here. I would rather have Jalen Ramsey than Jaire Alexander. I'm that kind of psycho. And I'm basing it off very small things, including what's on our graphic. Shout out to John and shout out to Pro Football Focus for the numbers. Jaire Alexander doesn't play a lot. He loves to be hurt. And slot rate, 18% is not a big number, but that's what I was wondering about because I don't need Deron Bland lining up in the slot. He can stay outside. If I could find somebody to add that would be okay stepping down in there, an old man Jalen Ramsey at least does it some, that's my tiebreaker. Which guy can line up wherever? Because if you end up with Rebel and if you end up with Diggs and Bland can play outside and you brought in Jaire Elam, if I could find a dude that can play but can line up in the slot, I want that one. So I'm Team Ramsey over Team Alexander, but I'm also Team Chaos, and I say bring them both in.
No, we can't do both.
Bring them both in.
No, we can't do both.
And then bring in Asante Samuel. Carry 8 corners, and if anybody gives up a catch, out. Next. We don't have the money for this.
It's a little too much chaotic for me.
I mean, what happened to meritocracy? You screw up, you're out. You'll be back in when somebody else screws up. These are the rules.
I am on board with bringing one of those corners in and just slow playing Revel back into the mix.
Yeah.
Like, just give him a couple reps here and there. I think, I don't know. Bring on the chaos. Bring on the chaos. You want Ramsey? I'll take Jaire.
Okay, and so Jeremy, I think, was in the chat. Like, wasn't Jaire the one who made himself a captain?
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Which is what I want. And Jaire Alexander made himself a captain because wherever they were playing was like where he was from.
Charlotte?
Yeah, so he was playing Carolina. Yeah. So he just went out to the middle of the field and called the coin toss.
Yeah.
And he wasn't supposed to be out there. And then when they won the toss, he said defense, which depending how big a football fan you are, that's not what you say. You say we will, if you want to be on defense because you want the ball in the second half, you say we defer. We want to pick at halftime, and then we're going to pick the ball. He said defense, and the ref saved him.
Yeah.
Ref didn't have to save him.
Didn't have to.
The ref goes, do you mean defer?
Right.
He was going to give the other team, when he wasn't supposed to be out there to begin with, the ball in both halves. Yeah. That's my guy. That's my guy.
So you're on.
I mean, yeah, but I want Ramsey more. But that's also
who's the better player? Jaire's the better player
Alexander's
right now, right?
a better player today. If you're talking both of them are just going to line up outside and play corner, probably Jaire. I mean, he's like a half decade younger.
Shoddy, if part of a good coach, the really, really good ones, is managing the head cases. Like, especially if you have
I think you need one on each side of the ball for balance.
I'm with it.
And if they're directly opposed in practice, even better.
I tell you one thing. I told you the competition will be raised. Because Jaire's going to bounce around. And now once he gets to talking, Micah has to help him back that up.
Yep.
The other corners have to help back that up. The linebackers have to help back that up. Now your practices have been, the level of practice has been raised. So that crazy ain't always a bad thing. A little bit of trash talking isn't always a bad thing. It raises, all boats float. It raises the amount of intensity in practice. But if Shoddy is who they say he is, and right now he's batting 1,000 with this culture thing.
Well, he's the best leader of all time.
And if he can handle anything, he's getting good night calls from Micah and turning them into motivational speeches. He's gathering the quarterbacks and having them do their deal. He is galvanizing all of. He's brought the vets, the old school players in. Has Michael Irvin singing his praise and how he's doing things. He has Tony Casillas making FaceTime. Handle the chaos. Bring in these guys and let Shoddy handle the chaos, because if he can, the talent will be more than enough for you to win the amount of football games that are necessary.
Bring me your poor. Bring me your sick. Bring me your crazy. That's what I want. Let's knock out these super chats before we head into segment number 2 of broadcast day. Super chatties. We got a few of them, I believe. We did Dro. Carrie. Freak Jesus, Kerry Matthews. Boys, you know none of these good players are coming to Dallas. Jerry ain't paying for it. Jerry wants leftover crack. Anthony's in the super chat. Can we admit Ramsey should have been the pick in 16? Boy, 2016 was it was a really good draft. Like, Zeke was a really good player. You got Dak, blah, blah, blah. But they thought Ramsey was a safety, so that was weird. And that's the that's not the Taco year. It's the Jalen Smith year. I was going to say, they had two very interesting things where they went, well, TJ Watt's hand doesn't touch the ground. And they went, we think Jalen Ramsey's a safety. Couple of misses. But we're usually pretty good at these things.
We didn't get Dan.
Oh, crap. Dan's in there?
Yeah.
Happy Monday, fellas. Could you guys give a shout-out to my youngest daughter? Today's her 8th birthday. She's a Cowboy fan like her daddy.
Hey, happy birthday, youngest daughter of Dan Myers. Little Myers, happy 8th birthday today.
Little tiny Myers. Happy birthday. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast is segment number 2. The biggest questions as we head into mandatory minicamp for your Cowboys, which starts tomorrow. We'll hit that next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
Mando is the name. Keeping you fresh is the game. Oh. And here's how you do it. $5 off a starter pack using the promo code DLLS when you visit Mando.com. Mando is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor up to 72 hours. So if you're smelling a little bad, it's going to block it and hold it up to 72 hours. But we don't recommend that. Just go ahead and take a shower. They have all types of things. They have the deodorant sticks formulated to power by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. The old spray deodorant, aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. So, around the grundle, around the balls and the crack, anywhere where you can't reach, the spray can get there for you. But in order to get in the game, you have to go to Mando.com and use the promo code DLLS and get $5 off a starter pack. I love it because I am a person who is going on the day all day. I get a shower in the daytime, but I make sure I put my Mando on so I'm fresh throughout the day. Head over to Mando.com, use the promo code DLLS, and get $5 off a starter pack.
And once you're nice and fresh, it's time to go get yourself a tasty treat. The place to do that is at Wendy's. I like Wendy's, and I like their spicy nugs, but this isn't about that. We're not supposed to be talking about their spicy nugs. We're talking about their Frosties. You get them. You get your standard Frosty, and there's nothing wrong with the standard Frosty. It's a tasty treat. You can dip your fries in it if you like. But now Wendy's has got some kick-butt new flavors, including Frosty Swirls, strawberry, brownie batter, caramel, or caramel, whatever you call it.
Caramel.
Then you get the blended and mixed fusions, Oreo brownie, caramel or caramel crunch, and Pop-Tart strawberry. Pop-Tart strawberry. I'll take a spicy nug and dip it in my Pop-Tart strawberry Frosty in a heartbeat. You think I won't?
I believe you.
Yeah. Clock in for a sweet treat anytime, including midnight or later with Wendy's all-new Frosty flavors. Got to be Wendy's. At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast. We're into the second segment of our broadcast day, and we have the biggest questions as we head into mandatory minicamp. And the way I want to set this up is I want to represent the people. What do you mean, you people? I want to represent the people. Mandatory minicamp starts tomorrow, and when we see all the different words of all the different things they do over the course of an offseason, I feel like I need educated sometimes, and I do a lot of football. I be footballing.
You do. You know ball.
But it turns out that Jesse played in the NFL, so like he's been at mandatory minicamps. And I just wonder, as we get this week going, what are the things you can actually learn from a mandatory minicamp? Because like at training camp, I know because they're going to strap it up and they're going to go to work. But at mandatory minicamp, what can we learn? Like I've got my Hopium train going for Tyler Guyton. Can I learn anything about that? What can we learn at mandatory minicamp? What are they actually doing and what are they not doing?
Until you put on the pads.
Hit the like button.
And hit the like button.
Hit it now.
It is just another glory. This is just the finable OTA. This is just, that's all this is.
Finable OTA.
This is finable OTA. See, OTA is voluntary.
What do voluntary mean?
What do voluntary mean? Minicamp is where they start fining you. Is where this is the part that is added into your contract where you're supposed to be doing these things and they can fine you for not being at minicamp. But it's really no different. Now, you'll go more with the veteran guys, right? You won't see a ton of that second and third team groups going out there getting a lot of reps. It's going to be for the first team guys getting in there, kind of going fast tempo. You'll get some second string stuff in there, but it's for the veterans. It's when the veterans all come back. They're ramp up before they go off to their mini break before training camp. But there's nothing you can't when you don't have pads on. It is just another glorified underwear Olympics.
And there's no contact.
So like
Tyler Guyton can't block Micah Parsons because they're not going to touch each other.
You can't. There's nothing you can do. But again, it's a way to see players. It's a way to install. It's a way to have players doing football-related things, getting in some sort of football shape. But learning anything, maybe you can see where, like, you can see who's playing in what groups.
Yeah.
Right? Who's going with the first team? You know, are they really going to use Bland in the slot more often because of how they're going to play things? Like, those type of things you can kind of learn from that. But as far as the physical aspect of what a player is going to be, you don't, not in this day and age of football. Back in the day when you had pads on and you can actually hit and be physical in these portions of the offseason. Now, this is just I want to get all my guys in the building. Let's get some fast moving 7-on-7 going on.
Yeah. When you were at this point in the calendar year, when you were playing, were they allowed to put on pads and hit you?
Yeah.
Okay, you were getting beat up at minicamp a little bit, or you were beating people up. Let me take that back.
It was a little bit of both.
Okay.
I'm an equal opportunist.
Question number one that I have as we head towards mandatory minicamp is going to be question number one throughout the entire offseason until they actually get something done, which is what's Micah Parsons going to do. He'll be there, I'd imagine, because money.
Yes.
I don't want to give away money, but I would imagine that Micah Parsons will be there with like a bucket hat on, standing under the awning if there's an awning out there.
Hold it in.
Just hold it in and watching everything. And not ideal, but does that matter yet? It doesn't matter. Does that matter yet? Because, like, you asked me if I'd seen the CD doc. Like, CD has a YouTube docu-series thing about stuff. I don't know. But I did see one of the quotes from it where he was talking about when he was holding out at minicamp or at training camp and was just like, it sucked. I hated it. I was miserable. Like, I'm supposed to be out there with my quarterback getting ready, and I wasn't able to be out there getting ready. It doesn't apply. That doesn't apply yet, does it? Maybe a little bit?
A little bit. It's not the end-all, be-all. You
call David Mulligeta, Jerry.
You would want a guy like Micah to be at minicamp because these are the moments where you're getting in at least the informational reps, lining up, depth, how we want to come off a certain twist or stunt or things like that. You kind of want to hear the verbiage. You want to hear if you have to check. You want to hear it from if it's going to be from Kenneth Murray or it's going to be from Sanborn, if it's going to be from Leofow. You want to hear all these different things, and you want to be in that mixture of it. And again, getting a chance to compete, getting a chance to get out there and do some football things are work wonders for your conditioning, even though there's a break after it. But I suspect because of Micah's position, if you say, hey, line up outside shoulder of the tackle and go get the guy that says hut.
Okay, I can do that. And you just tell me when you want me to back up a little bit and move over there a little bit and beat the center too. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Just tell me when.
And that's a little bit of a difference when you hear the CeeDee Lamb conversation. Because there is a timing component that comes along with the receiver and the quarterback. There is some things that he's been working on in the offseason and the quarterback's working on in the offseason that they want to kind of put in line. For Micah, it's more of a on an island situation. So him not being there is more of a conditioning. If there is some verbiage that he needs to learn, that he needs to know, okay, cool. But he'll be there, he'll hear it, he'll be in the meetings. But when he gets on the field, it's me versus that left tackle or that left tackle and that tight end, that left tackle and that back coming to chip. I have to defeat that blocker and go get the quarterback. It's not like he has a 5-step, 7-step drop. It's going to be a zone. It's going to be a man. It's going to be a whip route. Oh, that takes a little bit of let's get on the same page with one another. Not with Micah.
But he's supposed to be out there leading these men.
Well,
these are his men now.
That's a different conversation.
He's supposed to be out there leading them.
It's a different conversation.
And Jerry said you have to be out there leading them and show me before I pay you and he definitely has a track record of saying, like, you have to prove this to me, and if not, I won't pay. He's going to give
his track record
every
doesn't
penny.
say that. His track record says, I'm going to give these guys the money.
Every penny. The other biggest thing as we head into mandatory minicamp, which I think is just going to be a thing for the Cowboys through minicamp, through training camp, is what can we figure out about where we are with the knees of the corners.
The knees.
Where it's like, they're lining up in last week with Andrew Booth starting a corner. And I don't mean to be mean to that man, But we've seen him play NFL snaps, and if he's on the football field, the other team's going to throw at him every single chance they get, and they're going to have wonderful results probably. And so it's just tracking, because I feel like these things go hand in hand when we talk about Jaire Alexander or Jalen Ramsey or Asante Samuel, who in July is supposed to figure out what his neck's got going on. There is a really good group of cornerback talent that's available and at the house, whether you need to trade, whether you need to sign, whatever. There are dudes out there. And so it's just like station by station. How's that knee looking, Diggs? Revel, how's that knee looking? And then we'll do it again at training camp. And then we'll decide if we need to bring in a corner. So that's my other biggest thing. It's what is Mikey going to do, and how's our rehab group looking?
This is a quick sidebar question to the topic at hand. We had a conversation last week about, from you and brought us on your show,
my little tiny YouTube channel. Got a little tiny one.
Do you look at DaRon Bland as CB1, as cornerback 1?
On this team?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. Like I think he's good. I think Diggs and Bland are both unique in that they had those gigantic years where if it were somebody who I already thought of as one of the best corners in football, you'd be like, holy cow. But because I don't necessarily view either one of them that way, where I'm like, yeah, that's a good starting corner. That's kind of how I view him. It's a good starting corner. Not like, okay, how much is the top corner making in the NFL? Bland's going to get $1 million more. Like, I don't see him that way. And do people, like, if you're a Cowboy, do you see him as, like, Micah Parsons, we're going to set the market. That's who you are. Dak, because he plays quarterback and he was a franchise quarterback and he had the leverage, we're going to set the market. CeeDee Lamb, we're going to set the market. I don't see Bland that way. I see him as I want him here. But if you made him the highest paid corner in football, I'd be like, really? Even though that's how markets work, I don't view him that way.
Is that because he was a 5th round pick?
I hope not. No, I don't think so. Maybe DK Metcalf is burned into my brain where they had to go get him, basically. They had to be like, hey, Stephon Gilmore, you ready to start traveling? Because that man can't handle that man.
But are there times where sometimes a player just has your number? And you could be a really good guy. It's like, you know what? This dude just really... Like, for example, like Micah, really, really great player, right? He goes up against Lane Johnson, struggles a little bit. This is one of those things where it's like Lane Johnson and Micah Parsons, that might just be his kryptonite. I'm not saying that he can't win all the battles. I mean, he won't win some battles, but Lane just happens to be his kryptonite when they face each other.
Yeah.
It happens.
I do not view him as Patrick Surtain. Like, whoever you're, like, I don't think, and maybe it's just that these don't exist anymore, but like I don't think of him as a shutdown corner. Jalen Ramsey 3 or 4 years ago. Like, Bland ain't that.
But right now, J.C. Horn is like one of the highest. He and Derek Stingley?
Yeah, Stingley just got the bag.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I guess Horn just got the bag.
But you wouldn't consider J.C. Horn that.
No, probably not.
But because of his draft status, does that give him...
I mean, yes. I mean, it tends to stay with you. I just don't see him that way. Otherwise, like, why isn't the entire world clamoring for, like, where in the world is DaRon Bland's extension? Like, I think everybody's just kind of like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Diggs. We'll see what happens with Bland. Jeff, stop. That's one game. Bland should have been Defensive Player of the Year. Oh, I mean, yes, the number of plays that he did make. If DaRon Bland won Defensive Player of the Year, I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. No one's like, interceptions are massive. The way that they swing a game, especially if you go score a touchdown on it, is massive. He should have, in that individual year, won awards. But that's the wildness of corner when you're talking about playing 70 snaps a game or whatever. And if you have that one, you were amazing in that game, no matter what the rest of it was. But I don't view him as a guy that it's like, yeah, we're going to run 70 plays. How do you feel about him for all 70? I'd be like, fine, good. Not like your guys like Jaire Alexander, even when he was healthy a few years ago, Jalen Ramsey a few years ago. I don't know. I just don't see him that way. I want him on my team, and I don't care about Jerry's money, so go ahead and pay him whatever you want. But I don't view him as like a no doubt, this is a set the market guy. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, it's not Pop. We have a certain guy that I'm trying to build some hopium for. And I got more reasons. Next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
I love cruising down the street, man. And
my 6'4".
My 6'4".
Sorry.
The windows are kind of a little bit slightly dropped. Yeah. But I do have the air on a little bit because I don't want to get sweaty, but I like the smell of the fresh air. But I got my Shady Rays on, looking cool as I want to be.
Yeah.
And you too can look not like me, but like me. You too can get you a pair of Shady Rays by heading over to shadyrays.com and just dropping in the promo code DLLS and get 35% off a pair of polarized sunglasses. Over 300,000 people have said 5-star. Yes, this is the best pair of shades that I have ever owned. 300,000 people, you need to be in that number. They have all the styles, every one that you like, every color that you can think of, no matter the team, no matter the sorority or fraternity or just your favorite color. They have a lens, they have a style for you. ShadyRays.com, drop in the promo code DLLS and get 35% off a pair of polarized glasses.
Shout out to our friends at Monarch Money as well. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I have a tough time tracking my money. And once you start tracking and you realize, oh, I spent that much on those 2 items, and those 2 items are beer and cinnamon-flavored whiskey. And you're like, oh, my goodness, we need to make some changes in this financial world. It helps if you've got a nice little central hub. You know what I'm saying? And that's our friends at Monarch Money. What they do is they help you start managing your finances to help you build the life that you actually want. You got to have a clear financial picture so that your financial dreams can feel in reach. Monarch makes managing money simple, even with your busy life. You get all your accounts, credit cards, investments all in one place. That way, you'll always know where your money stands without any sort of hassle. It was named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. So if you want to get control of your overall finances, hit up our friends at Monarch Money. Use the code DLLS at monarchmoney.com in your browser. You'll get half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code DLLS. DLLS Cowboys podcast, segment number 3.
Hit them likes, man. Let's get them likes up over 100 on a Monday, man. Let's get this Monday rolling. If you're in here, hit the like button.
We don't have 100? I think we need 140 before this segment ends. I've been trying to get some hopium going about a certain Cowboy player.
Be careful saying that word. People on the internet said that if you say the word that that they made up.
Oh, somebody owned that word?
Yeah, they own that word. They said that if you use that word,
that's interesting.
When you come to Oxnard, they're going to see you.
Okay. If you use the word while you were broadcasting about the Cowboys, if you use the word "the," I started that. And we will fight. That was me.
Ooh.
Or a.
Or
either version.
Or a.
That was me. So Tyler Guyton, I was not high on when he was drafted. Every time they put him on the field, I was like, why are we doing this? Except for then when they started playing Chuma and wouldn't let him play, I was like, well, neither one's good. You might as well let the rookie get wore out and see if he's going to get any better. You might as well let him get snaps, but they didn't want to do that because he was that bad. And then we got to the offseason. I'm like, you should probably replace that left tackle. You probably just don't want to, like, hope is not a strategy. You should probably make sure you have something out there, and they didn't. But then he made some good words that got to me. My guy's on a diet, a real one. Changed his whole diet. My guy's doing an hour of yoga in the garage at the same time every day. He's got his habits lined up. He's got good habits happening for me.
So did you go to the studio or garage? You know, you like the old DDP style.
I was a DDP yoga guy.
DDP,
now I'm a Pilates man, reformer machine.
All right.
Yeah, no impact on the knees, and I can really build up.
You inside the studio though. You got those little toe socks.
Yeah, well, no, I have the grippy socks.
Okay.
You have to have grippy socks on those machines. And now I just saw a picture of Tyler Guyton working with Tyron Smith, and I was like, you guys are gonna try to get me to go, aren't you? You guys are gonna try to get me really to believe in a guy that 3 weeks ago I was like, please God, make sure you have a better option or another option at left tackle. Look at that. Look at Tyler Guyton working with a Hall of Famer, eating right.
Got a schedule.
Ingrained habits in his schedule. I'm talking myself into it. I just want you to know that now he's also working with Tyler. Boy, Tyler Guyton is gonna be okay, maybe, kind of. That's strong from me. Okay, maybe, kind of.
I said this earlier in the off season that I wasn't going to kick a man while he was down anymore. I kicked him long enough.
He's up
the
now.
Season.
I got him up.
I kicked him long enough during the season.
I got him up now.
I like the steps that he's taking.
That's what I'm talking about.
I do. I do. There is the first thing that I appreciated from Tyler Guyton was accountability.
Yeah, I was bad.
He said, I was bad.
Yeah.
We kind of read into the Duke Manyweather tweet earlier in the offseason. He talked about he had to grow up.
Yeah, basically,
it's
on
up
him. To him. It's on him. Yeah,
it's up to him. It's on him. If there's going to be a change in scenery or productivity for Tyler Guyton, it's going to be because he has decided to grow up and mature. Now, I think all those things are absolutely true. Because you come into this league, and as gung-ho as you may be, as happy as you may be, there are still some things that you have to do in the maturing department. It's no longer I can just show up and be better than because I was a 5-star or 4-star or I started at this 5-star program. Well, sorry, in this league, it is the best of the best. And when you play that premium position, that's how dudes eat. Like you're not playing a position that can be hidden. Right. You're playing left tackle.
Yeah.
Which means you're going up against the third highest paid player on the field at times, defensive end. Second highest paid player.
Yeah, quarterback and then pass rush.
So every team is trying to have a premier guy at that position. There is you open up the year last year and you had to deal with TJ Watt. You had to deal with Myles Garrett. You had to deal with some heavy hitters. So I get it. There's a maturity that has to come along with getting into this league, sustaining yourself in this league, especially when you don't have that many reps at that position. You didn't ask to be that pick in the first round, but son, you did. And now what came along with it is you struggled. Yeah. You got through the year, and now we're at a place where you held yourself accountable and said, I was bad. I was real bad. And now it seems as if he's taking the necessary steps to put himself in a much better position to be successful. Now, here is the thing that we will not know.
Neither one of us has the stones to be like, but he'll be really good.
but we, because you can do all these things. And I'm glad that Tyler is doing these things. I'm glad that Tyler has decided that I'm going to get a diet. I'm glad that he decided I'm going to work on the physical parts of my body. I'm glad that he went back to Duke and they're working. I'm glad that he sought out Tyler Smith and that he's working. All of those things are phenomenal. And they can all be for naught if he just can't play. And that happens sometimes. It's unfortunate. I hope that it is on the other side, that he's seeking these things and that these things are actually that he's putting in place turn out to be solid productivity for him. But we won't know that until training camp. And we have to hope.
We got to put pads on.
We have to hope that he has a level of confidence that when he starts, it keeps rising. Because in the back of your mind, what that little voice in the back of your head can creep back up and can talk bad to you.
Yeah.
And say, you know what, you really are sorry. Like, you're not that good. You don't belong in this league, and you're going to continue to get dominated. And if that spirals out of control, you'll have another guy who has lost confidence and won't be able to play or defend the quarterback for you.
So the next angle on that conversation is like what Mo is saying in the chat here. Can we get the picture back up, John? Can I get the picture of Tyler Guyton and Tyron Smith? He said Tyler Guyton looks like a small person next to Tyron Smith.
It's unfair.
Let's look at these.
Unfair.
Let's just look at these two dudes. Let's look at these two dudes for just a second here. Man, the guy in the baseball cap.
And the retired guy.
If we're struggling at left tackle,
no,
I'm looking at that.
It's so unfair.
Pads on.
It's so unfair.
Pads on.
And it does.
If Guyton struggles, that dude standing next to him looks like he could do it.
It's so unfair to be compared to a dude who was built in a lab. Like, it just is. Like, it is. When you look at Tyron, the dude is a freak in a good way. He's just a physical freak. He's 6'7", 325 pounds, and he's ripped. And he has arms the size of small tree trunks.
Yep.
And it's just unfair that now, Tyler, you're standing next to him and you look like not a child, but
kinda,
but
like a high school kid.
High school kid. Like, you're like a high school kid trying to, like, at Tyron Smith's charitable summer camp.
I'm not saying nothing, but I'm saying. But I'm not. Keep in mind, I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
It's unfair.
That don't look like a dude who's sure he needs to be retired. That looks like a dude who, if somebody needs me. Offensive linemen get little in a hurry when they retire, most of them, because they don't have to stay hefty.
Yeah, but most of them are fat.
Yeah, and I guess that's just the way he's put together.
Tyron is just like, I'm good. Like, I make 300 look really good. Like, I carry 300 differently than others carry 300.
Yeah.
So I don't have to lose all that excess weight. But, hey, maybe in the back of his mind, Tyron is like, hey, Jerry, the young boy can't go.
If he can't go.
And we get to about week 7.
Yeah.
I'll come back and play for a couple mil.
If you want to leave, if you want to give me some money to hang out and try to coach these guys a little bit, I'll hang out. And if it's going bad enough, I'll walk in the equipment room for the right amount of money. Because somebody said, Rich said the chat, love Tyron, but he was a train wreck with the Jets last year. You have to understand there's levels to train wreck. If Tyron was a train wreck with the Jets, our left tackle play was 700 train wrecks that were all on fire and then an airplane ran into it. So just keep in mind that there's levels to that stuff. If Tyron is cooked, what you had last year was beef jerky, most cooked.
The only way you call Tyron is if you're in a major pinch and your team is still very competitive. Like if you're facing something like, you know what, we're in that murderous row of the schedule and we're down 2 left tackles. 7-7. Can you give me 3-4 games?
Man, I think they're going to look at their left guard and be like, hey, come on out.
Possibly.
And I don't know how likely that is, but I do think that seems like they're, in case of emergency, break glass is moving Tyler Smith. Because I don't know how many snaps it was, but I have seen that Shoddy said, yeah, Cooper Beebe took some snaps at guard, blah, blah. He's not taking snaps at guard to play over Tyler Booker or Tyler Smith. So I think there, in case of emergency, is we think Tyler Smith could play left tackle. And we got enough dudes that could play guard. And we got guys, Bass or Hoffman or whoever, that could play center. And I don't like it. I think it's a sign that your team is not properly prepared for a season. If your contingency, if something isn't perfect, is that you're going to move an all-pro to a position where he's okay. Maybe he's better than okay. But when he played out there, he was okay.
If it's for a couple games, I can see it. If you're looking to get a guy back in 2 or 3 games, all right,
just help us survive.
Help us survive.
I mean, I remember when they used Zach Martin to help him survive. And he played right tackle and he got hurt immediately. So let's not move guys that are really settled into something. You're settled in there?
Let's leave Tyron. Let's leave him at home.
I don't know. John, can you pull that picture back up?
This is so unfair.
You tell me that guy?
That's so unfair.
You're telling me that guy right there?
That's so unfair.
Doesn't have a better chance to block somebody than that other guy?
Even if you just did shoulders up, facially, it looks like Tyron is a better. Like if we're just doing facial recognition,
facially profiling 100%. Their ability to block.
Yeah, one looks like I'm confused. One looks like I'm confident. One doesn't look confident.
Yeah, Tyron looks like he's about to eat him.
Tyron looks confident.
Tyron looks like he's looking at him because like Tyler kind of looks like he is confused, and Tyron's looking at him confused about why he's so confused.
Like, did you hear?
He's like, for real? No, I'm telling you.
Put your hand right here. That's what he's like. He's saying. He's like, where? Right here? Like, that's what it looks like.
Boy, that dude looks so ready. I can't wait when the Cowboys make the playoffs and Tyron suits up. It's gonna be great.
No,
it's gonna be great. Our guy just needs a little time. You know, he only has 736 body parts that hurt. Let those get right. Get a couple Pilates classes.
But you say that, and that's such a Cowboy thing to do. What's Tyron doing?
Yeah,
like he's around.
Yeah,
like he's with Meat Church.
Yeah,
preparing a brisket.
Where is Larry Allen? Put him in. What's Dion up to? Dion, you really want people to talk about you? Come give me some snaps.
But like Tyron being around this year, if left tackle is struggling, because he's not tied to any team.
No, he just retired.
Yeah, if he comes back to the league, he's not going to come back to another team.
You can set retirement paperwork on fire, right? That doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah, I'm unretired.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
I'm back.
I'm about to say the same thing.
I'm back. Coming up next, we're about to find out we're about to see what happens with Pop. He's telling me in Slack they won't let me off the plane. I got a story. They won't let me off the plane, but I got a story. And I said, well, you better call in and whisper So we'll see what happens. Clarence Hill might have a story next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Also want to encourage everybody out there to be a diehard. First of all, hit the like button. 124 is a fine number. 147 would be a better number to end the show with. So if you guys could get us there.
124 was the number of the address of the house that I grew up in. 124 Victory Street.
Nice.
Roselle, New Jersey.
Nice.
You
just gave out somebody's real life home address right here.
Don't live there anymore.
Fair.
Have at it.
I lived on Treetop Trail once upon a time. It was in the hood.
That sounds white.
It was white trash area of outside St. Louis. Yeah, it was very white trashy. Anyway, sign up to be a diehard. Look, there's a QR code on the screen if you're watching on YouTube that can get you signed up. And what that's going to get you is it's going to be your one-stop shop for everything you need when it comes to coverage of your favorite teams. If you're a DFW person, we got a wings show now. I don't know if you guys know that. Paige Buckets. And all the other people on the team. I'm going to learn their names soon. Huh?
She's not back yet.
She hurt?
Yeah.
That sucks. You would know that if you were keeping up
show.
With all of our stuff. When you decide to be a diehard, you don't only get just the premium access to all of our content and an ad-free experience on the website. You also get access to our Discord, where all of our hosts are popping in and out and hanging out and having a good time. It's a great place to watch a game is in the Discord, where you can yell at other diehard fans. It's a good time. You also get a free T-shirt from our merch shop. Merch is badass. I got a merch on. I got one of our shirts on today. That's what I'm doing. You get a discount on merch and events that we have if you sign up to be a diehard. And I want to encourage you to come to Las Vegas with us. I don't know if we have of course, John has a graphic for that. We're going to Vegas. Cowboys are going to play against Vegas. We're going to do our pre and our post-game show from out there. And you can sign up and join on this bad boy. Just check out our website. Join us on the road trip to Vegas. It's going to be badass. Jesse wants to show you something too. You get your diehard card if you sign up to be a diehard.
If you got one of these and you show me one of these in Vegas, we locked in.
That's what I'm talking about.
Don't know what we're going to do, though.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's see. John, is Clarence around? Or we know Clarence? No? That's the last we heard? All right, hold on. Let me get on Slack. See what he's up to. Quick story. Oh, okay. No, yeah, his quick story is... Okay. So he said, I'm sorry. They won't let me off this plane. I got a story for you. This is in our Slack. And I said, you better call in from the plane and whisper the story. And he said, quick story. He typed the story. He's not coming on. We've been sitting on the tarmac the whole time. I took a 90-minute nap. Woke up and thought we had landed. We haven't even taken off due to storms. I'm still in Atlanta waiting to take off. My goodness.
Put that back up, John. Is that a baby in the background? Like a lady standing up holding the baby? They're not going anywhere.
Could you imagine being on the plane, falling asleep, waking up, assuming you've arrived, and you haven't left yet?
I'm not going to lie. My anxiety would go through the roof. It would be through the roof. It really would. It would be through the roof.
Oh, pop. That's unfortunate. Segment 4 of our broadcast day. I got some stuff. What Cowboys question mark will determine the outcome of the most games? I have some options for you if you need options. Because the Cowboys have plenty of question marks, I think. Maybe you guys think that everything is awesome. Cowboys question mark number 1, Dak Prescott's hamstring and body in general.
In my head, I said Dak Prescott anatomy.
Yeah.
Like that's what I said in my head. And that will be the biggest determining factor for multiple victories or lack thereof.
Yeah.
And I think the hamstring will be fine. Right? Like
I think so. It's been long enough. I mean, we did tear it off the bone.
Right.
That's weird words. Off the bone.
But it's not like the Miles Austin situation where it was like a chronic hamstring injury. It wasn't like he had hamstring injuries.
Don't they say once you've tore it up, it's more likely to tear back up?
I think you just made that up. I've never heard that before.
Tell me in the chat if I'm right. I believe once you have pulled or torn a hamstring, your odds of pulling or tearing that hamstring go up.
Well, that's any part of the body. Once you injure any part of the body, the odds of you injuring it again definitely goes up.
No, my ACL is stronger than it was before. They built me a better one. They built me a better one out of my patella.
And you still
I'm
can't
on
run.
cartilage. Oh, I can run fat. If anybody out there wants some, I now race for a living.
Okay.
I made $200 last Saturday in a foot race.
Okay.
I sure did.
Don't.
Matter of fact,
in Vegas,
you could get it. You could get it at training camp or in Vegas. You could get it. Yeah. See? I don't know what that means, but 63.3%.
Do tricep injuries.
There's no stat for that. we don't hurt. You're wrong, Jim. Well, that's messed up. I don't even know about what. What am I wrong about?
But if Dak isn't back to 100%, which I think he is and will be and has been and
will continue to and is and will and did and does.
But is there something else in his body that will break down?
I hope not.
Because if there is,
I fear it. I fear it.
Yeah,
like
I
it's
do
just,
too.
It's not that any one thing that he has done screams like my body's breaking down. Like having your legs snapped in half because your foot goes a certain way. Like that sucked. But it's not like it was like because his body doesn't work. It was like no, it's because somebody snapped his leg in half.
Right.
He hurt his shoulder because he hurt his leg. And unfortunately, he's a psycho that works too hard and strained himself doing the things he was allowed to do too much. It's like, okay, I guess that happens. But all of them are like, that. I guess that happens. I guess that happens. Then there's the calf,
and then there's like the thumb, and then there's the...
Which the thumb, like you hit something like that happened. I don't... Like none of them individually is like, oh yeah, that's a hurt guy. But you don't tend to get more healthy when you get older. You know? That's just kind of not the way it goes. The other question marks that will determine the outcome of the most games. We've already talked about them today, and we've talked about them a lot, and we're going to just keep talking about things until we get to when we have things that we can actually talk about. But Tyler Guyton's year 2. Like, if Tyler Guyton's year 2 looks like Tyler Guyton's year 1, the season is sunk. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Sunk.
Harder schedule, enough question marks on the roster. If you get bad left tackle play, I believe the year is sunk.
I don't think you'll get that deep into the season where if his play is bad, that it'll allow you to sink. I think it'll be switched out.
To what?
I don't know.
I guess that's the Tyler Smith thing. Because I don't want to hate on anybody, and I'm not doing this because of draft pick status. I'm doing this because he got to play a little bit, and it was like, Like, I don't think Awesome Richards is going to go in and be a good NFL left tackle. Like, I think that's a guy that is going to hang around in the NFL because if you have to, play for a second till you get your guys back. He can be an NFL person. But I don't, unless you're moving your left guard to left tackle, if Tyler Guyton doesn't play well, I think this thing is.
And I don't believe they're going to kind of like just give him more reps, because just because you give a player more reps doesn't mean he's going to get better from the reps that you give him. It can actually get worse.
He will this time.
Yeah,
for sure.
But if Tyler Guyton isn't productive early, strong, solid early, I think they pull the plug.
Man, I hope pull the plug means that they look outside to find something.
I think if they decide to pull the plug after a certain amount of time.
Oh, we already know what they're doing.
You're shifting.
Pull the picture up, John.
We're not.
If you got to pull the plug on Guyton.
Not in week 3.
That's what we're doing.
You're not.
Is Tyron coaching? Like, is he just out there hanging out for a day? Because if he's out there daily, oh yeah, he's staying ready.
He should be out there daily.
He's staying ready.
I want a guy like Tyron, who I had the pleasure of being a teammate of. You want Tyron out there. Maybe he's not a coach officially, but you want Tyron around your guys. You want him breathing the same air. You want your guys breathing the same air that Tyron Smith is exhaling from his body. What is it?
I don't know.
What is it? John?
Carbon monoxide? Exhaling?
Carbon dioxide. You want them breathing in his carbon dioxide.
How many oxides do you want in your carbon? You want 1, mono, or you want 2, di? Okay, so we want two oxides with our carbon. We want dioxide. There's only some people have a detector in their house. Let's not just assume everyone does.
If it's black people, they got that.
As long as it doesn't beep.
It's beeping.
If it beeps, it's out of here.
It's out of here. You're gone. You're a goner.
I did that for a while, but then I was like, man, when my house burns down and insurance won't cover it, I should probably just go get some batteries. And I went and got some batteries.
That's a huge pet peeve of mine.
What?
That beeping noise?
Well, no, I rip them down and take it out.
That's even worse.
Right. For 2 years, I just didn't have smoke detectors. I was just like, no, you each started beeping, you're done. And then I was like, that's a bad idea. Because if you don't have them and something goes wrong, they're not going to pay me. So I put them back up, and we don't beep. We don't do it. So, yeah, looking forward to Tyron Smith coming back. Question mark that'll determine the outcome of the most games. I'm trying to figure out how to spin this one the proper way. How many you win early, I think, is massive for them. Because we have 2 wide receivers. Look over here, there's a 1, and look over there, and there's a 1. We got these 2 number 1 receivers, and Brian Schottenheimer's an incredible leader, and everybody's having a great time. Start 1 and 3, see what happens. Start 1 and 3. Let me know if we got 2 1s or if this one's not getting it enough and that one's getting it too many times. And this thing has to start well. If this thing doesn't start well, we've got some implosion capabilities.
This is what you want.
Oh, team chaos.
You want team chaos.
Yeah, it could go one of 2 ways. 1, win a bunch of games and everybody's happy, and we got 2 number 1 wide receivers, and it's PTB2. We pat that bitch 2 times, throw it real far, score all the points. Yeah, it sounds great. We get to 1 and 3, and George Pickens says CD sucks, and Dak can't get him the ball, and like now we're cooking too, because the show's cooking. Because we're having fun. 2 super chats. Knight is in the super chat. Start reading the James Cook scouting report. Why? See it?
I think he wants out of Buffalo.
Is he just getting out of there?
I don't know if he's out of there now, but I think he wants out of Buffalo.
Let me take a peek. Let me see what's happening on the internet. James Cook heading into minicamp with your best running back in a contract dispute. Okay, so he's in a little bit of a dispute. Oh, he's disconnected himself from the organization in the city.
Did he unfollow them on Instagram?
I bet.
That's how the young people do. That's when you know it's serious.
Yeah, but I guess we'll see. Every player's different, and you're trying to get your money, and I get that. But teams can win this by just doing nothing. If James Cook doesn't show up, you get fined and you don't accrue a season and you don't get to free agency. Like, eventually the dudes are going to show up.
Don't listen to Le'Veon Bell.
No, don't listen to Le'Veon Bell. But if you told me, would you rather have James Cook or with the Cowboys, bring me James Cook in a heartbeat.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
In a heartbeat.
But to your question mark question, how many wins is Shoddy good for? Just from a coaching aspect.
You don't want me to answer that.
Because I believe in my heart of hearts that coaches, 0. He doesn't give you a 0. Like,
I'm stunned if anybody says it's not 0. Like, I get it that people feel good and positive.
Right.
And I hope that whatever he's going to do offensively is some sort of schematic advantage. But when you're talking, because my idea of how many games is like above average, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, put in standard NFL head coach, and how many more do you get because of that guy? Guy who's never done this before that nobody else would have hired for this gig, and we're just so happy about his energy that we're going to assume that that's better than an average NFL coach? I love your optimism, but I would assume he's a guy. We'll see. Like, okay. I don't think Kyle Shanahan got to age 50 whatever and it was like, yeah, nobody's really thought about him as a head coach before, and then he gets hired and you're like, hell yeah. Like, I hope Shoddy's great, and I love the way that the vibes seem right now. And maybe the vibes are good enough that vibes are worth wins. But nothing about his career has told me that he's a schematic advantage over the best coaches in the NFL.
We have to break that down one day. Just go coach by coach throughout the league, and you tell us how many wins you think that coach brings alone by himself.
Like Kyle Shanahan's like 3 or 4.
Okay.
That's my guy. Like McVay's probably 2 or 3. Reed's probably 2 or 3. Well, Reed might be 1 or 2. You got Patty. Who's like -3? That's what I want to know. Like Sirianni, they win a lot of games, but I do feel like he's worth -1.
You just don't like him.
And Jalen Hurts isn't very good. Dro Nose is in the super chat. Name your starting 5 in the secondary. Today? Mine or theirs? I'd put Kalen Carson in the slot for the hell of it, just to have a guy there, Deron Bland, Kyer Elam, and I don't feel great about it.
Who's your safeties?
Hooker and Wilson. But I'm trying to get Wanye out there. I'll bench Dono and get Wanye out there. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. We love you. Oh, we got the number we wanted on the likes, but still get us a couple of more, okay? Remember, we'll see you tomorrow. And you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
Or else not a threat. That's the end of the show, John. Yeah, that's the end of the show.
We all silly like the mayor.